Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Meg and we do crafty things here. It's starting to get cold outside, so I've been telling all you guys, if you're a returning subscriber, you've heard this a bajillion times now, but as we're moving into the colder months, I've got some different crafts planned other than friendship bracelets, but right now we're predominantly friendship bracelets, and that is no different for today. So today we are going to do a quick and easy classic bracelet pattern, just to kind of break things up a bit. So I posted a picture on Instagram, I don't know, a couple months ago now, I think. I'll put a picture of it here, but basically it has blown up. It's got like over 7,000 likes on it. I don't know why, because to me, it's like the easiest bracelets I've ever made, but people seem to like them and I'm getting a lot of questions on how to make them. So I thought I would jump in and do a tutorial for you guys today on really simple pattern. So if you guys have watched any of my other videos, hello returning subscribers, thank you for tuning in. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I am a hard advocate for practicing your core patterns and practicing them until you're like blue in the face, like until you're absolutely sick of them before moving on to other patterns, because it's going to help you with your knot consistency and iron out your tension issues before you get into any big bracelets and you start wasting string and stuff because things get messed up. So today I'm going to show you one of those patterns and how different it can look, and that is the bordered chevron. So basic bordered chevron looks like this. It is a chevron, as I said, with a border along the outside. So here is a pretty simple one. Here's same thing in another color variation. But then the fun thing about this is you can get some really different looks. So you can get this segmented look as well, which people really seem to like. And also you can do it two-tone and get this very like sectioned look as well. So all of these are tied the exact same way. They all have completely different looks. And I just wanted to show you guys how to make this really super easy and cute pattern. So let's get started. For today's tutorial, for today's craft, you're going to need colored string. I'm using embroidery floss, but you can use craft thread, crochet thread, yarn, all kinds of things. Basically any kind of colored string is going to work for you. So I'm going to use this embroidery floss. You can get it at any craft store and most sewing stores as well. You are going to need a pair of scissors because we are working with string, and you'll need something to anchor your bracelet down. Now, preferably I like safety pins, but for filming purposes, it's much easier to show you using tape, but you can use tape as well. It's kind of whatever you're used to. Experiment, try different things. So I've gone ahead and I have picked out 5 colors ahead of time. We've got a pale pink, a pale yellow, a pale blue, a slightly darker blue, and this kind of corally pinky color. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these as my center colors and this as my border color. So now I'm going to tie this just like this. However, if you want the segmented look, you can sub out one of your colors for the same color you're using for your border, and that will give you this sectioned segmented look. And if you want to look like this, you can sub all of your center color strings for one color and then just pick one color for your border and put one in the center to get this segmented look. But they're all tied the same, and for the purposes of this, I think it would be easier to show you with all different colored strings as opposed to something like this where it might be easier to get the strings mixed up while you're watching, or something like this because again, you have multiples of the same color. So for this purpose, we are going to use all 5 different colors, but feel free to choose whatever colors you want. So I'm going to use this as my border color. So as usual, everyone always asks me how long to cut the string. I hold the string end in one hand and the bobbin or skein in the other, and I cut a wingspan. So I open my arms as wide as they will go. Okay, so I've cut one of each of my colors, a wingspan in length. Now we're going to fold them in half, and at that center point, we're going to tie a loop. So you're going to wrap it around your finger and pull it through the loop, simple overhand knot. So I've got my bracelet taped down. I got a couple pieces of tape to hopefully anchor this really well. And now we're going to set up our strings. So our strings are going to be set up in a mirror order. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out what color you want to be your border. I want this corally color to be my border, so I'm going to put it on the outermost edge of my bracelet. Then I think I want to do my 2 tones of blue side by side, and then my other 2 colors. So I'm going to put my darker blue first, I think. And then my lighter blue. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So my darker blue, and then my lighter blue. And then I think I'll do the pink, and then the yellow, and the same over here, the pink and then the yellow. Okay, so I've got this all lined out now the way I want it. So remember, the outermost string is going to be your border color, and then this is going to be the order that your colors appear inside the border. So my border color is going to be this coral color, and it's going to go dark blue, light pink, light yellow, dark blue, light pink, light yellow through the center. So I'm going to start on my left hand side over here, and we'll work our way into the center point and then do the same from the other side. So first things first is we're going to pick up our border color, and we are going to do a forwards backwards knot. So to do a forwards backwards knot, you're going to start your knot like you're going to make a forwards knot. So to make a forwards knot, you create a 4 shape with our knotting string, which is our outermost string. We create a 4 shape over our next string, which is our dark blue string. That's the string we're going to knot around. And then we're going to pull the loose end through the hole and pull it tight. And you may need to hold down the strings next to it, especially for these first couple rows, just to keep them out of the way so they don't get caught up in there. But now to finish a forwards knot, you would normally do that again, but because this is a forwards backwards knot, we want this color to be on the outside for the entirety of our bracelet. So now we've done half a forwards knot, a backwards knot. So to do backwards, you're going to do the opposite of the forwards knot, kind of common sense. We're going to make a backwards 4, or you can think of it as like a sailboat sail. And again, pull your loose end through the loop. Okay, so now we have this string. Our border string is sitting to the left of the string we just knotted around. That's where we want it, and we'll want that every row. So now we're going to pick up this dark blue that we just knotted around with this coral color, and we're going to pick up our light blue next to it, and we're going to do forwards knots. So we're going to make a 4 shape and pull that loose end through once, and then to complete the forwards knot, we're going to do that again, create our 4 shape and pull the loose end through the hole. Pull it tight, and then set the light blue string aside. So we're still holding on to that dark blue string. And we pick up our next color, which is our pink. We're gonna hold it tight, and we're going to do another forwards knot. So we're going to make our 4 shape. We're going to pull the loose end through. There's half a forwards knot. We need to do that again. So we're going to make a 4 again and pull the loose end through like so. As you can see now, we have a coral knot and 2 of our darker blue color knots. Now we're going to pick up our yellow string, and we're going to do a forwards knot again. So we're going to make that 4 shape and pull the loose end through the hole once, and then we have to do it a second time to complete our forwards knot. So we make a 4 shape again and pull that loose end through the hole for twice, and then we set our yellow aside. And now we're going to actually set our dark blue down as well, because we've reached the center point of our strings. So now we're going to move over to the right hand side of our work. Make sure our strings are in order, and we're going to do the same thing we did on this side in mirror form on this side. So on this side, we are going to do a backwards forwards knot. So we are going to start by making the first half of a backwards knot. So we're going to pick up our dark blue string and hold it tight. And with our coral string, we're going to make a sailboat shape for our backwards knot and pull the loose end through. And now instead of completing that backwards knot, we want a backwards forwards knot because we want this coral color to be exactly where it just was for our next row. So we're going to make a 4 shape for a forwards knot and pull that string through and pull it tight. Now our coral string naturally sits back to the right hand side of our dark blue string, which is exactly where we want it. So we're going to carry on now with our dark blue string as our knotting string. We're going to pick up our light blue string and hold it tight. We are going to do backwards knots because we are working from the right hand side to the left hand side with our knotting string. So we're going to make a backwards knot, so our sailboat shape here, and pull the loose end through once, and then we're going to do that a second time to complete the backwards knot. So sailboat shape, pull the loose end through a second time. Then we're going to set our light blue string aside and move on to our next color, which is our pink. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make a backwards knot. So we make our sailboat shape, pull the loose end through the hole once, and then we have to do it a second time to complete a backwards knot. So we make our sailboat shape and pull the loose end through a second time. And there you are. We can set our light pink string aside and move on to our yellow string. So moving on to our yellow string, we're going to hold our yellow string tight, and we're going to do a backwards knot again. So we make our sailboat shape and we pull the string through the hole, sailboat shape, and pull the loose end through the hole again. And now we've reached the center point of our bracelet. So at this point, we now have our 2 dark blues side by side, and our bracelet is not joined in the middle. So that's what we're going to do. Now, because these strings are the same color, you can tie your knots any way you want because it's going to end up blue. So I'm just going to do a backwards knot. There we are. Okay, so now when we pull our strings out, we can see our first chevron appearing. So let's move on to our next row. We'll start on the left-hand side again. And remember, these first couple rows are going to be the most difficult for keeping your colors in order, just because after the first couple rows, your strings will kind of naturally stay in their lane and just be more separated because the knot kind of clumps everything together at the top. So now we're on the left-hand side. Again, this is our border color, so we're going to do a forwards-backwards knot because we need it at the start of every row to keep our border going. So we're going to create a 4 over our light blue string now. And we're going to pull the loose end through the hole. And now we want our string to go back to the left-hand side of this light blue string. So we're going to make the second half of our knot a sailboat shape and pull the loose end through as if we're making a backwards knot, so that our coral string naturally falls to the left-hand side of our light blue string. Right back where it started. So next we're going to pick up the light pink string, and with our light blue string, we are going to do forward knots until we reach the center point again. Now we are at the center point of our bracelet. So we're going to give the left-hand side a rest and we're going to move over to the right-hand side. The first thing we're going to do is make sure our strings are in order. So on the right-hand side, you're going to do a backwards forwards knot. So we make our sailboat shape, pull it tight, and then for the second half of the knot, make a 4 shape, pull the loose end through, and our coral string now sits naturally to the right-hand side of our light blue string. So carrying on with our light blue string, we're going to pick up the next base string, which is our light pink color, and we are going to be doing backwards knots. So we're going to make our sailboat shape and pull the loose end through. We do that once, and our sailboat shape, pull the loose end through a second time to create our first stitch. Your light blue string should be side by side in the middle, waiting to be connected together. So again, because they're the same color, you can tie them any way you like. In this case, I'm going to do a forwards knot. There we go. Okay, so now we can see our second chevron there. There you have it. So we have a dark blue stripe and a light blue stripe. We'll do a couple more rows so that border is a little more defined for you guys to see. So now you can see that border really coming into play. We can see our chevron, and that is basically it. You continue that for as long as you want your bracelet to be, braid your ends and just tie it off. Now to put your bracelet on with a loop and just a tie, place the back side up. So the front side you'll see has little bumps like this, and the back side you can see it's not really little bumps, it's just you can kind of see like the 2 knots around the string. So this is the side you want up. Place your wrist on it and you're going to put your braid through the loop at the start. It doesn't matter which way, whether you're pushing it away from your wrist, into your wrist, doesn't matter. You just want your knot through the loop, the braid through the loop, then you're going to create a loop with your braid and pull that knot through the hole you created and just pull it tight. There you have it. A bordered chevron.